Hey, you're listening to Innovators Can Laugh, the fun startup podcast. I'm your host, Eric Milcher. On ICL, we interview an innovative entrepreneur in the European tech startup scene every week. My goal is to have my guests share their wisdom while having a little fun in the process. Now let's dive in. Hi, if you're wondering how the concept of an exciting fashion e-commerce brand is born, this is the episode for you. My guest today is Romanian startup founder Raluca Haulica. Raluca is fairly new to the world of fashion, but within the span of 3 years, her brand Alura has already generated $500,000 in revenue and has over 9,000 customers. Raluca has worked for brands such as Samsung and is a member of Rotary International. Join us as we dive into the world of fashion and e-commerce. Raluca, welcome to Innovators Can Laugh.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you. So let's get started with some quick questions here, just kind of get to know you. First question is, would you rather have dinner with Sara Blakely or receive $25,000 in cash?
Dinner with Sara Blakely, definitely.
Okay, next question. What was one of the toys that you played with as a child?
Barbie doll.
Okay. Question. What was a favorite TV show that you used to watch and you still remember the jingle, the song of the TV commercial?
Game of Thrones.
So you kind of like the killing and the gruesome kind of shows, huh?
Yes, I'm kind of that kind of girl.
Okay. Most female startup founders I have on here usually say friends. And so this is unusual for a woman
Not me.
to say Game of Thrones. Okay. Next question. Have you ever had a quirky or insane teacher, whether that was in high school or university?
Yes, I did.
How were they insane?
Well, they did something called the Russian roulette, and they stood everyone up. And if you didn't know the word in English that you're supposed to know, then you took a 4, like a very low grade. But this was happening really fast.
Okay.
So you are actually shooting. You were shot, So if you didn't know the word in English, you were shot and you got a bad grade.
Okay. Did he actually shoot with like a rubber band or something? Or
No, only the pen.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Have you ever given a presentation that rocked the house? That, you got a standing ovation or an applause, or maybe it was an online presentation?
Yes, I got that kind of presentation. Actually, recently, I was in my program, my fast track MBA, and we had to present in like 30 minutes something very personal about us, but that demonstrates the motivation that you were there. And I gave a very personal presentation and everyone was really impressed, and they were like not crying, but almost.
Okay.
So it was very emotional. When I do presentations, because I have a experience with presentation, I tend to make them real personal.
Okay, cool. We're going to come back to that presentation later during the chat here, so be ready to tell us what that was all about. Okay, next question here. What is something that really annoys you? Maybe it's something that somebody does or something that you just kind of see in your day-to-day life. What is that?
Yes, when someone changes the plans last minute, that's really annoying me. Like when we are supposed to meet at 6 and then at 5:30 you say, okay, let's postpone. That's really annoying.
What's funny is that you really thought of that very quick. I mean, you didn't even have to think about it. You're like,
yes.
Something tells me that happened to you recently. Somebody did that to you recently?
Well, not recently, but it's like the Balkan area. We are not very precise as like Germans, because I worked a lot with them. Yes, and it seems like you actually experienced that also.
Hey, since moving to Romania, I have experienced that, and I understand there's a big cultural, it's kind of like the Latin culture, because I lived in Mexico for a little bit. And so when people say, yeah, 3 o'clock, they kind of mean maybe closer to 4. So I do understand, what that means here. And I've worked with Germans too, and they're a little bit more punctuate and organized than Americans, I would say. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. A couple other quick questions here. What is a shallow or silly reason you rejected a suitor or a potential boyfriend? They weren't on time?
Yeah, that's tough. Because I didn't like the way they dressed.
That's a valid answer. Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
That's silly, but that happened in high school.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I mean, the person you're walking with or being with, I mean, they gotta kind of match your lifestyle and your clothing style and your choices and things like that.
Of course, that
They wear,
like right now, that's not even a priority or a top 10, but back then was really important in high school.
You know what I'm not a fan of, Raluca? Women who wear like the entire outfit of like leopard, like a leopard pattern. They got the shoes,
animal print.
jacket. They got the purr. It's like they got like 3 or 4 things going on that are like all animal print. I don't understand that. That's something that I'm married. I'm happily married, but I probably wouldn't go out with somebody if they were wearing like a lot of animal print. Yeah.
Us? Well, really quick, something surprising about me is that I have a fashion startup on e-commerce in fashion, but I was never, and I am not right now passionate about fashion. So
yeah,
I'm not a fashion addict.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump into there. So how did you get started in fashion and specifically shoes and leather goods?
So I wanted to have a startup, like a business of my own, no matter the subject. Like I really wanted to build something. The connection with shoes is that my father has been in the industry for 30 years. So he started in the 90s with a different kind of business. He was doing commerce between factories in Romania, between shoe factories in Romania, and he supplied the leather and other materials. And then he opened a few shops, but in my hometown in Vaslui. So then I moved to Bucharest. I'm here for 8 years. I got jobs and so on. And when I decided to start the startup, I picked up the idea of, okay, let's build on a network that my father already has. So I used the network, and then I built my own network that is like very, very different from what he's doing, but helped me with the knowledge of production, because very, very few people that have e-commerce in shoes, because shoes are extremely different from clothes, know the production and the factory. So that was really important.
Yeah. So these manufacturers that your father was working with, were they making shoes for like other brands outside of Romania as well?
No, they were only producing, and they are producing right now locally. So it's not a fashion thing or a brand thing. They are only producers, like mass production, the need of shoes, not for the fashion of shoes, So it's not on the focus of the design, but are just plain industrial factories that are producing shoes because you need, not because you, I don't know, they are pretty or... Yeah. So it's very different, but it helped me with the knowledge of supply chain and of production.
Okay, but what was the aha moment that you said, "Hey, wait a minute! I can come up with a brand, and I can put something out there and do this"? Like, was there a specific moment in time?
Yes, it was in my corporate days, and before corporate, I always had this issue. I never found shoes that fit and that are comfortable. So I was always in pain, no matter what I wore. Stilettos, the boots, whatever, it caused me a lot of pain. And I was spending high amounts of money from well-known brands. And still, they were very, very painful for me. And I thought, okay, if they are for me, they have to be for all the other women that are buying them. So my primary focus was, okay, I'm going to build something that is both fit and comfort. So you don't have to choose anymore. So you have the both.
Okay. So how are you getting rid of this pain point or pain pressure in your shoes? Like what is specifically, how are you making them different than some of the other shoes that you used to wear?
So specifically, I selected factories that make very comfortable shoes. So I only work with 2, 3 factories from Spain, Turkey, Romania. So I have like all around. I go myself in the factory and try the shoes and give specifications if they are not sufficiently comfortable. So it's not like a magic, like I did something to them, just I curate all the process and I try them myself. And along with the owners of the factories, we find solutions to specific problems of the shoe.
Okay. And the quality assurance that's done, like when there's a new batch that comes
Yes.
out, do you have people testing those that
Yes.
hey, this person knows what to look for? Okay.
So every time we produce, like the flow is very long. It's 6 months. It takes 6 months from the drawing until the shoes to actually leave the factory. So in that moment, we select the samples, we test them, we do the fittings. Of course, we try them and I wear them on a daily basis. And I have, for example, in Turkey, in Istanbul, I have someone who goes there before delivery and checks every pair of shoes to make sure they are not faulty and they are like the quality is there.
How are you coming up with the designs, Raluca, for the shoes?
So that's interesting because my main product was the e-commerce. So I built the website, I built the experience, the packaging, and all the logistic processes. So my focus wasn't on design. I let the factories propose designs that they are producing and they are good at producing. And I selected the designs that already exist on their side. Because when I come with a new design, it takes very long for them to actually produce it because they need new things, new processes in their factory. So I said, okay, you are good at design and I'm good at e-commerce. So I let you produce the design that you like and I am taking care of the selling and of the brand and of promoting them. So that is what happened. But of course, I selected factories that produce designs that are aligned with my vision. So
okay, were they happy to hear that proposal? I'm assuming.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes, they were.
Okay, so you're working on this website, you're getting it off the ground. How in the heck did you have so much success within less than 3 years to generate this revenue that's coming in? What did you do?
So
How did you work?
one thing, this revenue is only for this year. So it's for the current year. It's not for the whole 3 years.
I stand
Second thing, yes. The second thing, I started with an offline shop in the pandemic, when the pandemic started. That didn't work. And I swear I wasn't going to open another physical shop like ever. Because it's not my thing. And I think it takes a lot of effort and energy for the outcome. So then I started with the website. And I read a lot about user experience. I learned everything from the bottom to the top. I am myself taking care of the email marketing, of the design, graphic design. I work in Figma. So that's the things I do. Yes, really. Of course, I had someone with me that's very good at it, a technical guy in my team. We generated this revenue and the website and the product with only 3. We have 3 person in the team, 3 guys. We have 4 starting last month. So being so few, because it's a startup, I was like pushed to learn a lot, from graphic design to email marketing to product to you name it, like hiring PPC and so on.
Uh-huh.
So yes, like learning a lot every day, listening to podcasts, having friends in my friend circle that they have other e-commerces and so on. So I am being always aware, like every day, what I can learn more from other people or myself.
What channels have worked well for you? And channels like, is it like paid Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads? What's working well for you right now?
We started with Facebook. So paid Facebook ads. But then as we elevated our brand image, because now we are raising a little bit the prices because the quality is better. And then the public is also more in the professional area now. So now it's like a fair battle between Google and Facebook ads. Then very close comes the email marketing. It works very, very good with us. Also because I make personalized emails that are coming from my side, like from the founder, and I write them to my clients. So these are the main. We also try with influencers. A few work, a few didn't, but very few actually worked. Also micro-influencers and big influencers. We did YouTube, whole YouTube ads. And also it's important to say that the best thing that works in the paid ads for us is the video materials.
Okay. Videos on Facebook and YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
And that are also produced by us.
Okay.
And we, in the last one, we presented the story. It was the best. We presented a story about women empowerment and how women who never stop and who are always on the move deserve high quality and highly comfortable shoes. And that worked the best.
Okay, so when a new customer discovers your shoe and they wear it for the first time, I'm assuming you're trying to collect some feedback. I'm asking, what is it that they really like about your shoes?
Oh, so the first thing, surprisingly, that they write about is the packaging. For every box, someone in our warehouse makes a manual ribbon, like cuts the ribbon, ties it, and so on, manually for every package. And this little thing is doing like a lot for the client because they are feeling very cared of, and no one does it in the e-commerce area when you want to save the costs and you want to save the time and so on. So that is the first thing they realize, they write about. Yeah. Then in the packaging, we have a thank you card and we have another voucher for them. So we have some promotional stuff. And then it comes the quality of the product. So the quality and the fact that they are highly comfortable. And the last thing, but not least, is the customer service. They can always call us, ask for assistance. The exchange is very easily done, and the transportation takes 1 or 2 days to arrive.
Really? Just 1 or 2 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you using like a variety of services like Fan Courier to get the quick delivery or?
Yes, we are not one courier, but we are working with the guys from Freezeball. So we have an e-fulfillment platform because we are 3 people in the team, but we have in the warehouse another 4 or 5 guys that are doing taking care of the deliveries. Okay. So yes, we are using multiple couriers depending on many things. If you want to get it in the box, like in the locker, if you want to get it at home, it depends.
Okay. What advice that any of your partners or maybe investors or maybe even your parents gave you that you either followed or you just ignored?
Well, I'm better at ignoring rather than at following.
That's good, because if you do everything everybody tells you, you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah.
Yes, like my magic trick is to always do the A/B testing. And my favorite business book is the growth book, the growth mindset. Yes. So what my father, like an advice that I ignored was, your prices are too high. You will never sell with these prices in Romania. And I put them anyway, because I also rose the quality of the product and the quality of our presentation. And I think that women are willing to pay if the quality is good and if they can reuse for many seasons the shoes. That I buy the shoes this season, I throw it. Then the next season I buy another pair, I throw it, and so on. That's one thing that I ignored. So I don't know, perhaps an advice for anyone who starts a startup. You don't you shouldn't be afraid to put the right price for your product if you know it's fair, with accent on being fair, so if it's fair, you put it like that. Then an advice that I followed would be on testing the pre-orders.
How do you
This
test the
is
pre-orders?
we had a small batch that we could do that last September. So the products weren't in production yet in September. I talked to the guys on factory and said, okay, wait for us like 1 month before actually starting producing them. Of course, we had the models and we had everything set. But let me just test the pre-orders, please. So I tested and it was the best campaign, like with the best results. Like it was amazing to find out that women are willing to wait for the product that they want. Yes, because it's always fast. I can't wait. I have to go to the mall to buy it. I need it right now. So in this
That's my
campaign,
wife. Yeah.
yes.
She places the order. She's already tracking like where the package
Yeah.
is, and she knows like I'm supposed to get it, Thursday morning around this time. Me, I can place an order and I could care less. In fact, I may never even get the order and I just forgot all about it because I just don't care. But yeah, I think when you say most women are really concerned about the delivery time, I agree with you.
Yes. But in the world of fast moving goods and of like this madness of I gave the order now, I want to have the order like last hour. Why isn't the order here? Like being in a contrast, and that is a thing I learned at Fast Track MBA with my marketing course. That was a very good advice. You watch your competition and you do the other way around. So yes,
Okay.
that is one thing that worked, and that we will push next season. Starting with January, we will launch the spring-summer collection, and we'll be on the basis of pre-orders. And of course, I want to show all my clients, all my customers, why is it worth the wait? And I will present the videos from the factory, the fact that they're handmade. That is a factory with tradition, and it's made by a father and a son. And so this kind of story that are authentic and are traditional products, and they deserve to be waited for, and also they deserve to be worn for, to be worn for 3-4 seasons, not just 1 month and then you throw them away. So I believe in a long value compared to the fast fashion brands that are now on the market.
There's been a lot of car brands that have success with this. If you think of like Tesla and some other brands, people will wait months, for something. So why wouldn't they do it in fashion if it's a brand that they like, they truly, truly like? I'd probably do the same thing myself. If there was something I saw, I knew the brand had good quality, I enjoyed the last product I purchased. Yeah, why not? Okay, so a few other questions before we wrap it up. One question is, how has this journey of having success with Alura, how has it changed you and impacted you, Raluca?
Well, so personally, I think it gave me a lot of personal confidence, like trust in myself and confidence in myself that I very much lacked before. Though in corporation, I trained from VPs to presidents to I had a very good environment, professional environment. But I think it's very empowering to see that you can write the name of your brand on a notebook, and then in 1 to 3 years, it's for real, and you see on the street people wearing your product randomly.
Oh,
That
must be so cool.
Yes, I think that's very empowering. And then it gave me a sense of purpose, because I can get in touch with so many people and have an impact. That is what I love. For example, in the corporation, I didn't see how my work is impactful and how my work is useful for someone. And now, having a startup, you get to feel that really real. And I get to have the chance to see a client that bought 4 or 5 pairs of boots from us. And it's like they trusted us, and I get my hand on the phone and call them and say, hey, I'm the founder. Please, I wanted to thank you,
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Are you delivering internationally, Raluca?
For the moment, yes, but we didn't have the chance to promote it. We will work starting with January for a duplicate of the website. Will be called myalura.com. And we will heavily promote it internationally, perhaps, or I will choose a country first, perhaps Germany. I don't know. We are still discussing about it. But for now, everyone who stays abroad can order, but the website is in Romanian. So usually still Romanians order for us that are staying in other countries. But for other international customers, it will be available starting in January.
Okay. What advice would you give to inspiring e-commerce or fashion entrepreneurs, Raluca?
Build a brand that is online but feels like it's offline. Like, people are really hungry for the human touch. So make it as personal as possible, giving them all the experience that they could have in an offline store.
Love it. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Last question for you. And this is just a fun question. Instead of flowers for Valentine's Day, Raluca, you would rather receive blank.
Books.
Books?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would rather receive books.
For Christmas, I always give my sister a book and she hates it.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, please don't send me any more books this for Christmas, as a present.
Send them to me, please.
But I think it's one of the best things that you can do is give somebody, something that could really impact their life in a positive way.
It's timeless and it's valuable, and perhaps a little bit biased because I graduated literature. So literature has always been my passion.
Okay. Having chatted with me, and what book would you give to me as a gift?
Oh, well, I would give you something locally. And I would recommend you the Diaries of Queen Mary of Romania. The diaries during First World War. I think that would be very interesting for you.
I saw a show on the History Channel about her, and she was a very strong woman. She was a very fascinating woman.
And she was British, for example.
Yeah, she was cousin of Queen Elizabeth, if I remember, I think.
Yes, and the how do you say it? The relative of the Queen Victoria.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listen, Raluca, thank you so much for being on Innovators Can Laugh. Where can people learn about you? I'm going to put a link to your website on the website notes here, alura.ro. Is there any other place where people can find you?
On Instagram, alura.ro still. And on Instagram, you're posting only in English, so you can see the reels and other backstage videos and photos that aren't on the website.
Fantastic. All right. For those listening, hey, if you like the episode, tell others about it. Feel free to find us on TikTok, where I include clips from the show, as well as YouTube. Just look for Innovators Can Laugh. All right. Have a great week, and la rivedere.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give us a review and star rating. Also, don't forget to sign up for the ICL newsletter at innovatorscanlaugh.com, where you can get the bio and details of each guest. Thanks.